Hey guys, Paul from Net Audio here, and we're going to talk about one of our more recent RAM projects that we got to work on. This customer, her name is Edna. She reached out to us through email, and we just had a long conversation of emails going back and forth about what she wanted, what she had been told, and she found us honestly off of our YouTube channels. So, hi Edna. What she reached out to us for, she had a 2018 Dodge Ram regular cab. She was wanting to upgrade the sound system on her truck, and she's from Corpus Christi, Texas, so dang near 500 miles away from us. She had been told by the shops around her that, oh, these trucks are very complicated audio systems and you can't tie into them. So she reached out to us. I said, yeah, you can. We do it all the time. We have a whole list of different products and stuff that we could do on her truck, and so I was going to walk you through the different products that we were using on hers. We can kind of throw that in with the installation videos and everything that we're talking about. To start with, she had a kind of a weird package. We loved the truck. It was a two-door regular cab, but it was like a Laramie package. It had like mixed leather and cloth seats. It had a full center console, 8-inch touchscreen, but it had the Alpine system, which on the two-door trucks is not very common. And the way that it works on those trucks is you still get the factory amplifier, but you don't have the subwoofer. So it treats the front 6x9s as the subs. They play all the way down. So it still had the center channel, dash corners, front doors, and then the B pillars, so behind the seats. So the factory amplifier was still there, which honestly makes our job easier. Of course, if we have a factory amplified system, we're gonna start with the Amp Pro. The Amp Pro allows us to plug in behind the radio, decipher all the digital mess of the factory sound system, and that gives us our front, rear, and sub RCAs, remote turn on, and our, it gives us a subwoofer level knob, and it's a really small and discreet knob. So this took care of the audio. Then what we did is we have a harness that we make that plugs in at the factory harness, and that gives us access to all the factory speaker wires. We can run all the speaker wires and everything through the factory wiring. We're not having to run new wires throughout the truck or into the doors or anything like that. But it makes the whole installation plug and play. It's completely reversible. No cutting and splicing or sitting here messing with any of the factory wiring. So if she does have issues and has to take it to Mopar, and of course the dealerships, they try to point the finger at anything aftermarket, this way it's all reversible, completely able to go back to factory with no issues. Now what Edna said she wanted was big volume, but clarity, lots of clarity. So I told her about a previous truck that we did where we did a 6-channel ARC audio amplifier. So it's the X2 1200.6, so it's 150 watts by 6. Lots of power. And we did Hertz Audio. We used their Cento Pro 6x9 component set for the front. So we used the tweeter in the dash, the 6x9 in the doors, and then just the regular coax speaker in the back. By running this active on the 6-channel, we get rid of the crossover. We have 150 watts, 150 watts, 150 watts. Lots of power. We can adjust the crossover frequency completely off the amplifier. That eliminates a whole component out of it, which does simplify the installation. It also frees up efficiency because now we're feeding full power to the speakers instead of us having power loss by a capacitor, by a crossover. All a crossover is coils and capacitors and resistors. So it's all stuff that electronically causes a loss. So you can still have the best crossover design in the world, but it still will have some sort of loss through heat absorption and stuff like that. This allows us to take our harness, plug it straight up to the ARC audio amplifier. It makes for a really straightforward and seamless installation. Now, because of the previous truck that we had done, I already knew that we could fit 2 of these amplifiers underneath the driver's seat. Very tight squeeze. For the subwoofer side, we used the ARC Audio matching 1100.1, so exactly the same footprint, and we just mirrored the 2 amplifiers back to back so we could run the wiring, keep everything cool. Lots of super great power. This was a fun project because it used 2 of our favorite brands. I love ARC Audio. I love their subs, love their amplifiers. Very power efficient, very, very clean sounding amplifiers. Even though it's a Class D, it's a digital based footprint amplifier, they sound still very full and open, lots of headroom, lots of great detail. You don't get extra noise and whine and hiss and everything with the speakers. And then Hertz, we love the Hertz line of speakers. Hertz and Audison are sister companies. Audison is generally higher end product with higher end amplifiers and speakers. Audison is more after sound quality. Hertz, I think Hertz is more fun. It would be the way to put it. So still super, super clean sounding speakers, but they take some power and they sound dynamic and bright and clear. Just really, really great speakers. Now the complication on these trucks is it's not a small speaker. On the 09 and up Ram heavy duties, and on the classics, and on the 09 to 18 trucks, you know, there's a whole generation of these that are the same platform. Right behind where the factory speaker is mounted in the door is the track for the front edge of the window track. That gets in the way of the mounting depth. So we have come up with a way where we can space that track back. We have a selection of hardware that we use where we trim a little bit of plastic, but then we can undo the track and we can space it back a little bit. And it's just enough room to allow us to clear these. If we space them out from the door trying to get extra mounting depth, it shoves it into the back of the door panel. And all that's going to do is eventually just chew up the surround. Plus you hear it, it's smacking against the door. I mean, we're running 150 watts to it. It's not a little bit of power. That's a lot of power. It's going to have a lot of movement. We've come up with a solution for the back speakers are just a straight drop-in, nothing fancy about them. For bass, I already said we're using the Arc Audio 1100.1, and to match that we use the Arc Audio Arc Series 10s. I absolutely love these subs. They're what I've run in my past two vehicles. In my current vehicle, I'm hoping I'm going to squeeze 4 of them into my truck. Super, super unassuming sub. And that's what I love about Arc Audio. You're not paying for frills and chrome and paint and, you know, polish and all that sort of stuff. It's a black cone, it's a black basket, it's a covered magnet, it's not chrome plated. You're paying for the performance. And these subwoofers are super clean, very, very efficient, very, very musical, and we've turned a lot of people into believers with these. They will come to us with other woofers that may not be a good match for the airspace that they're in, and we can put these in there and throw some power on them and surprise the heck out of everybody. They play really, really deep. On 1100.1, they freaking get down in Edna's truck because she listened to more hip hop and pop. She said she grew up in California. She you know, grew up in the era when the hip hop and pop and rap and everything was kind of getting started and up and going in Cali. That is primarily what she listened to. So we did a ported enclosure for a pair of these, and that gives us, you know, big, deep bottom end. With Arc Audio, they're still musical. So a ported box, you do lose a little bit of the speed and the transients to it, but we're gaining from that in musicality side of things. With the efficiency that these speakers have, we still get really good volume. They still play really deep and low. So these sounded really, really great in that truck. If you haven't tried Arc Audio, I would absolutely say to check them out. We have customers talk to us all the time and, hey, what do you recommend for our trucks? And where do you sell? And I tell them Arc Audio, and they're always like, well, I haven't heard them. Well, yeah, you're not going to find them at Car Toys or at a Best Buy or anything like that. You're going to find them at mom and pop specialist shops. And it's a fantastic brand with fantastic support, so I would highly recommend checking them out if you haven't yet. Check out the ride, check out the build process and everything that we do on the truck. Like I said, it was extremely fun, she was extremely happy with it at the end of the day. If you have any questions on it, definitely hit us up in the comments and we can walk through, you know, any of our product selections that we did on the project. Feel free to give us a call. Call the shop at 940-767-1800. Shoot me an email at paul@netaudio.com. And always be sure to check us out on the YouTube page, and we'll have more updates with newer projects. Thanks, guys.